The Square Ball Podcast.
Well, hello there and welcome to the show. The West Stand is a new show that's out on a Monday and Friday. It's available on YouTube and in your podcast app. We welcome guests from across the world of Leeds United. I'm Dan Moylan. With me is Michael Normanton. And today we welcome a new sponsor on board. That's exciting, isn't it? Today's show is brought to you with Boojum.
I had a load yesterday, didn't we?
An absolute boatload of it, yeah. It was really, really good. Award-winning Mexican burrito bar. It's now open in the Merrion Centre in Leeds with branches across the UK and Ireland, which is where they originated, and they have a huge following as well. You can use our code to get a whopping £10 off if you spend £20 with Uber Eats. You can fill up on gigantic burritos the size of your head. Size of your head?
Not the size of my head. Come on, let's be realistic.
It was close.
It was close.
They do burritos, they do bowls, tacos, nachos, you know, all the fillings, all the flavours, all the sauces, all the good stuff. They did send us that bunch of food yesterday for us to sample, and it was good, wasn't it?
There weren't enough of us in to eat it all, but we did manage it anyway.
That Yorkshire trait of going, well, there's food there and I don't want to chuck it in the bin, so I will force myself to eat it. But it was really, really nice. Great for lunch, dinner, nights on the sofa in front of the telly, and of course on match day. £10 off a £20 minimum spend with Uber Eats. We'll put a link in the show description as well, and you can get your discount code now at boojummex.com/TSB. There you'll find the terms and conditions that apply as well. That's BOOJUMMEX.com/TSB. Well, welcome our guest now then. Hello there. You could hear him chuckling away in the background listening to our stupidity. From the Kaiser Chiefs, it's Simon Rix. You all right?
Hello again. I'm back.
Welcome back. You came in before to do this announcement, to do this plug, and then it got pulled very late at the last minute and moved to this week.
Yes, indeed, yes. So start selling things. Can I start selling things?
Sell away, yeah.
Tickets are on sale today for our big gig at Temple Newsome. It's celebrating 20 years since we released our first album, Employment, Idola Hits, I Predict a Riot, and Every Day I Live You Less and Less, and Oh My God, and all those things. Come and hear those live. We've got like some friends who toured with us at the time, so it's Cribs, We Are Scientists, Razorlight, and then a couple of new bands as well on the bill. Tickets are on sale for that.
When is it?
Oh, when is it?
Yes.
Good idea. 31st of May, 2025. So to me, that is perfect timing. It's either official promotion pie.
It's not either anything. It is the official promotion party.
Or unofficial grief pie.
Yeah, I'm just let me look it down the fixtures. So we finish our season. So we've got Plymouth away on May the 3rd. Is that the last one?
Well, it depends.
Is that the last one?
So then my thing is now I'm a bit like, if we went into the playoffs, let's just imagine that and had a nice day out at Wembley. That would be the weekend before. So then maybe that would even better, kind of a trophy lift.
Did you genuinely look at the scheduling of this around the football?
No, but someone sent me the date and then immediately I was like, is that the playoff final day? Because that would be, we did that before and it didn't work very well. So let's not do that again.
Right. Yeah, I understand. It's my birthday 2 days before that. And it's always nice weather at that time of year. So I guarantee you sunshine.
Amazing. It's going to be a great day, I think.
I hope so. I'd be really sad if we didn't go up this season.
Yeah, I think we're going to.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk too much about this season because there's been a lot of, everyone's been talking about Melier across the last few days. And I think we're all Melier'd out. And it's the international break, so we're going to talk about something different.
And we're celebrating 20 years of this album, so why not celebrate 20 years ago, which was a glorious time for Leeds United.
So what, the 2004-2005 season, we're not just going to talk about that, but I suppose as a time in your life, for me, it was absolutely incredible. That was when I was actually quite good and enthusiastic about DJing before it became an absolute chore. And just a means to put food on the table. So that was peak DJ years, I think, for me. I used to really enjoy it, like being in the nightclubs and having people singing along and stuff. What were you doing?
I was at uni.
Right.
So I'd made the stupid choice to stick near Leeds so I could watch us in the Champions League. And then I was watching Kevin Blackwell's Leeds United in the Championship instead, which was great fun. And you could presumably ignore this because you were writing a hit album and recording it and releasing it and stuff.
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, we were still recording it. Yeah, it was a very, very busy time. And I was fortunate, I think, to not really see much of this season because we were gigging, lots and lots of trips to America and Europe and Japan and recording an album and releasing that album and just generally having a good time. And Leeds, it wasn't really dragging me back in. You know, I think everybody, had a little bit of it wasn't the best time, was it? Coming out off the relegation and then having, what was that thing? Just Kevin Blackwell and Gary Kelly left.
That was the summer of that, wasn't it?
It was.
04 summer. But yeah, I mean, I can fully appreciate it because you're a lad in your mid-20s at that point. It's proper boys' own stuff, isn't it? You can not boys' own, but boys' own stuff where you can tour the world with your band. That's like, bloody hell, we've made it.
Yeah, no, it was great. I think, although I can't work out if it was that season, but I think it was the next season that we went up and did some like training with the team. And that was good.
To be fair,
that was genuinely good.
Given the team at that time, and we will get through some of the players who signed during this season, the standard from like you to them at that time was probably closer than, let's say, you to now.
Yeah, definitely. Although it was an eye opener in terms of like we took penalties against what is his name, the keeper?
Sullivan?
No, it was the other guy, like Scandinavian.
Oh, Ankergren. Oh, that must have been.
Was that much later?
That must have been a couple of years after this.
Right. But Sean Derry was there. Maybe it was 2 trips.
I think he was. Yeah, Ankergren would have been relegation from the Championship season, I think, which is a few years after.
But still, now I'm confused. Maybe we went twice. Maybe we went twice. This is probably my brain. Anyway, we took penalties against him, and like I was going, with the hardest possible kick, as per Michael's advice, and it was just somebody looking like it was absolutely just like
dealing with kids,
picking out of the air with one hand. Do you know what I mean? So
diving over it so your kids don't cry.
They used to, when the mascots at Ellen Road used to warm up with the keepers. Do you remember that? They don't do that anymore, do they? They just all there's loads of them, and they just kind of all walk out into the centre circle. But there used to be a thing, didn't there, where as a mascot, you'd get to go in front of the cop, and Nigel Martin had let in the odd weak shot and stuff.
Of course, yeah. Do you know, I've completely forgotten.
But Ankergren didn't do that. He just humiliated you.
Yeah, just humiliated us. But also, I do know exactly when it was because there was a fight in a tunnel.
Probably Dennis Wise.
It was after that, and Sean Derry had all like black eye and stuff.
Wow.
And I was partnered with him for some drills, which was good.
How did you get on there?
He was nice.
He was a nice bloke.
Very kind. Don't kick it too hard at me.
And he said the same of me.
Who is the best footballer out of the band?
Whitey, I think. Because he can kick it the hardest. It's actually genuinely true. He will play 5-a-side, whatever, and he'll just stand on the halfway line and just boot it towards the net. But we'll score.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like me and my lads, we will go up to the local 5-a-side centre near us in Bradford, and they just, you can just walk on. Like, you just go park in the car park, find a spare pitch, and we just go kick around. Like I think the lads who've run it just don't give a shit. Find a spare pitch. So I'll go in goal a lot of the time, but sometimes we'll just kick around between us. But then occasionally I will absolutely hammer a shot into a 5-a-side goal from a distance that's perfectly adequate for an adult. And they'll go, bloody hell, wow, you hit that so hard. And I think he thinks I'm like world class just because I can kick it dead hard into a 5-a-side net from quite close.
Past a small child.
Don't even make him go in net.
You know what? Fucking near that, were you? Useless.
Competitive dad. Do you remember Competitive Dad? So to the 2004-05 season, so 20 years ago now, I remember just the culture shock of dropping out of the Premier League. And I know it was all starting to fall apart at the back end of 03-04, wasn't it? You could see that players were trying to move out. They were trying to cut the wage bill and all that sort of stuff. And we went down, which was a pretty inauspicious occasion in itself. And then the churn started. And it's like we had no idea who was going to be left playing for us. No idea. Can you remember that summer?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Blackwell's exaggerated with the just me and Gary Kelly thing. But there wasn't much more. Lucas, who was permanently injured as well. So it was like we were kind of keeping players who we probably would have moved out, in truth. As great as servants as there were, people like Lucas and Kelly who had been on big money, but they were like, no one's having them. So instead we'll just have to sell all the young players and we'll keep Gary Kelly for another couple of years.
Well, the summer departures was pretty radical. I'm just looking at them now. So it started in mid-May. So basically as soon as we went down, Robinson to Spurs, Alan Smith to Man United, that went down really well. Bridges goes to Bolton on a free. Wilcox to Leicester on a free. Bats retired. James Milner to Newcastle, £5 million. Stephen McPhail to Barnsley. And then Viduka goes to Middlesbrough. Ian Hart to Levante.
I've got a quiz question for you actually about the transfers that year. One person who was in that squad is still playing now. I say playing. That's a stretch.
James Milner.
Oh, he didn't actually play in the season. He was kind of sold in the summer. Someone who was actually in the squad for the season when it started.
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Right. And elsewhere in that summer, Matteo goes to Blackburn, Danny Mills to Man City, Barnby to Hull. It was a proper decimation of that squad.
But we got Steve Guppy.
We did. Well,
We did.
the
Although he
incomings
didn't
again.
play, I don't think. I just sort of being a...
There was like Guppy and Hignett. There were loads of people who came in on sort of month-to-month contracts while we tried to just get 11 men on a pitch.
Can you remember who we signed first that summer? If the dates are correct here in front of me.
Jermaine Wright was early.
He was early. There were 3 before him, according to this.
Because I remember Jermaine Wright playing well against us once and thinking, that's actually a really good sign, and then hating him for more or less the entire time he was at Leeds.
So for context, at that stage, you've lost Robinson, Smith, Bridges, Wilcox, Batty, and then the others are going. Viduka's gone, and
Have we got Sullivan in early?
Yeah.
first one was Paul Butler.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Someone else who I thought I wasn't displeased with to begin with.
From Wolves. But even still, you went, I'm not really quite sure who you are.
Yeah. He thought everyone knew who he was, I would say.
Are you calling him out on this?
No.
Do you want to fight with him?
No, definitely not. 100% not. I've met him.
He looks
fine.
like he
I've
dresses.
got his shirt, I think, actually. It's huge.
He styles himself like he's in a band, doesn't he?
He's got the Paul Weller helmet, hasn't he?
Yeah. So maybe you could start some sort of inter-band war with his fictional band.
No, but changing the subject, this will show you if you listen to my podcast or not, which I got told off for not advertising enough. So, yes, there's a podcast. It's called Don't Go to Bed Just Yet. It's BBC. It's me and Johnny.
Yeah, they're doing fine.
And Johnny Buchan and Adam Pope. So now back to if you listened to that, you'd know this fact already, which is Neil Sullivan. I met him the other day. He is now a driving instructor.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
All right.
That Premier League money.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks, I think, really. You just think you'd be able to do
But you've
whatever you want.
You've got to stay busy, haven't you?
Yeah, driving instructor, though. That sounds horrible.
I don't know. It depends if you like passing on knowledge, paying it forward, imparting knowledge on younger people.
Not for me.
You're just descending to being a bitter old man. Yeah, so the first signings, it was Paul Butler, it was Julian Joachim from Coventry. Again, but you went, I've heard of him. But, yeah, Michael Ricketts from Middlesbrough as well, who seemed to come the other way with regards to Viduka when he went to Borough. Yeah, and then it was like into Jermaine Wright.
Oh, and Danny Pugh came with Smith, right?
Yeah, same sort of time. Yeah, so Hignett, Clark Carlisle, Danny Cadamartri, Matt Spring, Danny Pugh, yeah. And then Dino came back.
Yes. Brian
Dean. And then Sullivan was back end of July, well before the season kicked off. And as you mentioned, like Stephen Guppy. So, yeah, it wasn't a great start. Can you remember that first game of the season?
I do. Do you remember who scored the goal? We won.
I know because I've got it open in front of me on Wikipedia. But it was a home fixture.
Against Derby.
Who scored the goal?
Someone who actually stuck around for a long time.
Oh, I do know this, actually.
Academy product.
I do know this, yeah. Fraser Richardson.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was well done. 30,459 people there. But then your first away game is Gillingham away in front of 10,000, 11,000, and we lost.
Oh, good.
As well. And there's nothing quite like marking your descent into the Football League like that, is there?
Andy Hessenthaler was their manager as well. I think we'd had some beef with around a cup game a few years before, and he was just a bit of a dick. Was all I can really remember.
Feels like we had a few little early victories.
There was a bit in that season where it looked like we might actually get the playoffs, and then it completely collapsed by the end of the season.
Post Christmas was a really good run. From Boxing Day, Sunderland away, where we won 3-2. Plymouth at home, we lost at home to Crewe. God, can you remember that on New Year's Day?
New Year's Day games are just not.
They're
never worth having.
I know we get a bit upset about our current status in this division, and I know it's the same division, but losing at home to Crewe on New Year's Day.
The attendances that season.
That's full of sadness.
They're quite interesting because there's clearly a bit of, even though it's falling apart, there's clearly a bit of tail end of Premier League interest still. And then by the time we've gone down and we've come back up and we're stuck in the Championship, you're then getting like 17,000 there for games.
Yeah,
everyone's just thoroughly fed up.
Everything's sort of hovering between about 27 and 33-ish.
It's pretty good. I remember it being quieter than that.
It's all, well, this is the year Bates takes over, and the year after is when the prices get hiked right up. So he starts Bates in it at that point.
Can you remember how he justified that, what he said?
He said, if you want Premier League football, everybody Premier League prices.
Which he did. And it was
which we did. And did he deliver us the Premier League football? He did not.
Did he take over quite early in the new year?
Okay, it was rumbling on for a while, wasn't it? Because we still had the Krasner lot kicking about. And they'd clearly run out of money and had taken out, I think some of them had taken out loans secured against their own stuff as well. So they were quite keen to get out of it.
Yeah.
Sharply.
It was very much like a bridging loan.
Yeah.
And they'd sold everything about it. They'd sold the stadium and sold Thorpe Arch and sold all of the players apart from Brian Dean.
Yeah. Just trying to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And then, so we had that run from, it was Boxing Day. Yeah. So we beat Sunderland away, Plymouth at home, Coventry away, Stoke away in there, Burnley away.
How easily were you able to follow any of these games? Because it was before any sort of reasonable streaming. Were you kind of just getting texts from home saying, yeah, lost again?
Yeah, basically,
while you're in Japan or something.
As I say, I think it wasn't really a season. I remember following more the financial, this person's sold and this person's now in charge and all of that, more than maybe the direct results. Yeah, because we were just away all the time. So you just get a text saying Leeds have won, Leeds have lost. And then occasionally you would get like a bar in New York where they would be showing, they could show a game. So yeah, there was a bit of that stuff. But also I think we benefited from this because there was Leeds fans, like a few Leeds fans followed us around Europe and stuff because they were used to going to European nights with Leeds United. But given that wasn't going to happen, they were like, we've just decided to follow you instead. So we had like people coming on European tours.
It's a good reason.
And also you always win.
Yeah.
Because there's always a gig and it's always good.
Yeah.
I think there's been a bit of displacement of Leeds stuff over the years as well. Because I think Josh Warrington picked up some people who were like, because Leeds were absolutely, when he was at his peak and coming up and then obviously peaked with the game, the fight at Ellen Road, going to see him was more fun than going to see Leeds. So I think a lot of people went, we'll kind of make more of a deal of that because we want to remember what it was like to have a nice time.
I was going to say it's essentially something we've talked about in recent weeks. It's always just about having fun with your mates, isn't it? And doing things that make you happy. And this didn't quite a lot of the time.
Going to different cities, but not Gillingham.
Yeah.
Stand on the scaffolding.
What I was angling at before was when Bates took over versus our collapsing form this season. Because we had that run up until the back end of February. And then after that, we had 10 games from then until the close of the season. Starting with Millwall away and concluding with Rotherham at home. We won one game in 10.
Oh.
Yeah, one game in the final 10.
Sounds very Leedsy.
But yeah, for a second you thought, maybe we've recovered here. But again, I don't recall. It was this Blackwell we decided.
Yes.
The football wasn't that sparkling.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was strikers on the wing and big basic bastards in defence like Paul Butler.
Yeah.
It was very Championship grizzled bastards.
Yeah, exactly. And
but also we were buying people always. So Healy came in.
Yes, we sang at him, didn't we? When he came with Preston.
That was one of my quiz questions, in fact, actually. So we beat Preston in October. Danny Pugh scores, and there were 4 future Leeds players in that Preston team.
Oh wow!
Healy obviously is one of them.
Should we do it now? Creswell.
Clark Carlisle. No, he's Burnley.
No, one of them signed not long after. One of them signed quite a few years later.
Oh.
It was the little period of us referring to them as our feeder club and all that sort of stuff.
We're dreadful bastards, aren't we? I love it.
It's
all
something to do,
all
isn't it?
part of the game. Yeah. No, we'll have to come back to it. Well, we'll do the quiz in a minute.
Well, I mean, friends, we're sort of talking. We've already kind of given some of the answers away.
But that's fine.
I'll pick back over it.
We're just giving.
I'm still trying to get the.
This is like revision.
Now.
It's revision, Michael.
Ah, fair enough.
But yeah, we only lost 2 games in that final 10 as well. So there's just an awful lot of draws. But I remember that is this part one of your questions, the Sheffield United home game?
That was fun part of it.
I won't talk about it now then. But I just remember. I think that might have been one of the few games that I've ever left early.
It was Simon Walton at right back.
Yeah,
did not go well. Simon Walton, who was still a child at this point as well.
Yeah, definitely. Is the party in the questions or not?
It's not what, sorry?
The party.
Oh, the Christmas party.
Yeah, is that in the questions?
It is. I'll give you this.
Talk about it?
I'll give you this one now, everyone. John Oster arrived on loan from Sunderland, was suspended in January before being sent back. Why was this?
Is that one of the quiz? Is that one of the quiz questions?
One of the quiz questions.
I'm going to say that was because of reasons.
That's the right answer.
Is it?
That's what we've got written down here. Some reasons.
Jamie McMaster, I think, was involved. There was some reasons.
There's some ill discipline.
But was he? That was my thing about this takeaway about this season. Is like that's what I mean about not knowing. So I remember him being there and being okay, like slightly creative.
McMaster.
Maybe. No, sorry, John Oster.
John Oster was decent for us.
And then fast forwarding a little bit and not knowing what's going on and being like, where's he gone?
Well, he went to the bar at the Christmas party, and that's
the last anybody saw of him.
Jamie McMaster was a strange one as well, because in a couple of years previous, when we were still doing okay in the Premier League, he was one of these players who was touted as being kind of the next big thing. There was some talk, will he play for Australia? Will he play for England? Because he could do either.
I think he even did qualify for Scotland as well, even.
Because of the muck.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
That'd probably be enough.
I think he once ate some shortbread.
Fair enough, yeah.
And that was it, out of a tartan tin.
Yeah, but John Oster was sadly sent back. He had also, when I was reading about him, he'd been fighting in Durham the same season as well, ahead of the Christmas party. So he was maybe not living the life he should have done.
Keep fighting.
Durham City Centre, it's quite civilised, this Durham. Doesn't feel like a very fighty place. I've DJ'd there and it was very civilised.
Got a student in it, and it's got Harry Potter stuff. Is that correct?
Durham,
Some of it filmed there?
A bit of it was filmed at Durham Cathedral, yeah.
You can't be fighting there.
In the cloisters, I think it was, yeah.
Nice.
How are your cloisters?
Smooth as you like.
Excellent. Jamie McMaster, how old is he now, do you reckon?
30...
No.
40?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
41.
41. Wow. You never got the player anyway.
Is he a goalkeeper?
It is a goalkeeper.
Is it Scott Carson?
Scott Carson.
Yeah.
He's playing is a stretch.
Well, he doesn't play at Man City, of course.
He's Man City's goalkeeper, isn't he? And has been for years.
He sits near some people who play for Man City.
He's got the best job in football, hasn't he? Essentially.
Yeah. Well, should we do something?
He played one game. He did play last year. They gave him a game, didn't they? At the end of the season, when they'd already won it, I think they gave him one game.
Right. It might have gone in. He was at a cup game. Looking at his Wikipedia is interesting. It's just rows of zeros from his last 5 seasons of being a footballer.
What a charmed life.
It's all right. I wonder if he's getting paid.
Should we?
A lot.
Even if it's $5,000 a week.
It's fine, isn't it?
$5,000 a week. I'd love that.
Just for having a kick about.
Yeah. Just hanging around with like Erling Haaland and that. Good, isn't it?
They probably consider him a strange old man, just hanging about the place.
Go on then. Here's with some of the quiz questions then, because we can talk about some of the things that pop up in there.
Covered a few of the bits
rather than me spoiling it all.
Already, I'll try not to cover some of the old ground. One of them, Fraser Richardson's already been done. But so the day before Employment's released, we drew 1-1 at Dennis Wise's Millwall. In the Millwall squad that day are 3 useless pricks who will go on to play for Leeds under Dennis Wise. Can you name any of them? I think would be a decent start, because they're not good footballers.
The one that came and was captain and left, Nichols?
No, he was Luton. He was a very Luton man.
A grizzled championship.
Did look like he could have been Millwall.
Steve Morrison.
Nope. Too early for him.
Right.
And Jody Morris had already played for us by this point, and also left because of reasons.
Yeah. What reasons were they? Just reasons?
Just reasons.
Just reasons, right.
Do badly on it. Millwall. Mid-noughties Millwall. It's not my specialist subject, but I guess.
There's a goalkeeper, a left winger who couldn't run, and a central midfielder.
Hang on a second. Does that mean that Employment was released on the 20th of December?
No. I'm talking about, it was in spring.
March?
I think that was it, yeah.
Maybe we flew. All right, we drew 1-1 with Millwall in both games,
yeah,
right?
There you go.
Yeah. Wow, what a season. So 7th of March it would have been, as you know, Simon.
Yes. Of course I know that. I did look up where we played on the 7th of March because I thought it would be a nice idea to, go back and do that gig again. Then it seems to be HMV in Oxford Street, which isn't there. And I think whatever's there now probably wouldn't like it.
Just go and play in an H&M or something.
Yeah.
Pound store.
Yeah. Candyland, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
Struggling. It is a difficult one, in fairness.
It's 3 of them, though.
3 of them, yes.
I feel like I should be able to get one of them.
I think between them, they've probably...
Give us some positions.
I just did. Goalkeeper.
Downward dog.
Goalkeeper.
I'm feeling like one of those, I don't think Graham Stack is...
It is Graham Stack.
Well done.
Graham Stack, well done. Yeah, there's
Go on, yes.
a left winger who scored against us in JPT, I think.
Sweeney.
Peter Sweeney.
Ah, very good, yes. He was a Millwall.
I had a lefty in my head, but I didn't know who it was. I couldn't crystallise it.
And the other one, a central midfielder who was there at the start of the -15 season.
Central midfield, the start of that season, but didn't last.
Didn't last.
On the grounds of being shit.
Do you know what? I can't actually remember why he left. He just he might have been on a short-term deal and just we signed some better players.
Yeah.
I think might be about as deep as it got.
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, that we went from this season, which felt pretty bleak relative to what had happened in the seasons before in the Champions League, and it got worse. Bit of a shame, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was out on loan, played 7 games at the start of that season, and then was out on loan at Scunthorpe and Gillingham for the remainder of it.
I'm cheating now because I'm pulling the squad up, but I'm going to see if we can help you guess this, Simon.
I'm not going to get it. Although I should know, that's starting to be back where I was actually fully engaged in the Leeds misery in that first season back in League One. I remember that being like really, really being like, right, this is the moment I'm going to get really go to every game. Because I don't know, it was easy to get a ticket, so that was good.
It was Gary McAllister who got rid of him. I'm on his wiki. Gary McAllister was straight with me. He just told me I wasn't in his plans and I should get myself another club.
All right.
It's Curtis Weston.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
What a footballer. I remember him once scoring.
Yeah, I'm looking down the list. There's so many names that were in that, that 2007 summer that I'm struggling to find any that jump out, even though I've got the answer there in front of me. Go on, next one.
Kind of touched on this to a degree. If I'll change the question then. Brian Dean was the oldest player. We signed someone who would have been the oldest player had he actually played, but I think he only made it as far as the bench.
Is it a goalkeeper?
It's a goalkeeper. He was a strong bench. That's a clue.
Stack. No.
When I say strong bench, I don't mean full of quality footballers. I mean it will have been a literal strong bench with him on it.
Steele or
Jason Steele.
He never played for us, did he? Although
Jason Steele is a really good, it's a cop name, isn't it?
I don't know the answer to this. Goalkeepers didn't play for us in 2005. It's not. It's not my special
I saw
subject.
him.
Call yourself a Leeds fan. Rix.
I think he may not have even actually made the first team bench for us. I saw him playing. I saw him warming up at half time at Wakefield when I went to watch the reserves, and he was the fattest man I'd ever seen, passing himself off as a professional footballer.
A fact. See, that would make me think that I could remember if there was actually something good about him, that like he was fat. No. I mean, Dan's got the squad and he's not getting it.
Kevin Pressman.
Was that when we signed Pressman?
he had a very brief bit of time in the squad.
Do you know,
we had Sasa Ilic in that season as well for
completely blanked
10 minutes or so.
I knew that had happened, and I've still blanked it out.
Why did we? Oh, because Scott Garson got sold, so we had to get someone else. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I guess. And maybe there was an injury to someone else as well. So
was he not signed like outside the window or outside the? There was some sort of special.
He was probably a free agent, I guess.
Or you maybe could also, was it like an emergency loan? Maybe
you could kind of do what you wanted in those days. I think it was. There was the emergency loan window existed, but they were never. It was never for an emergency. It was just for signing shit left backs.
I'm on his wiki. And it says after being released by Leicester, he was signed by Leeds as cover for Neil Sullivan, but never made an appearance.
Oh, what a shame! What a shame! It could have been great.
Wow.
Why would we be signing left backs? We had Stephen Craney. Why would we need anyone else?
Paid money for him as well.
Yeah.
That was the real heartbreaking thing. Let's go to the Warnock Sheffield United game. Actually, 5 of the Sheffield United team from that day went on to play for us.
Norris.
No, not Norris.
Brownie, Tongy, Greeny.
No.
Paddy.
Paddy and Tongy. That's 2.
Kenny. Tong.
You said them all.
Sharpie?
Not Sharpie.
No.
There are 2 more E's.
Brownie, Greeny.
One of them had already played for us and would go on to play for us again. There's a clue. And would go on inadvertently to earn us loads of money.
So he played for us.
He played for us. He was at Sheffield United then, and then he came back to us later.
Springy.
And has since earned us a fortune in an indirect way.
This is cryptic.
What position?
Striker. Although when he left us,
Cresswell.
No, when he left us, he was a winger.
Right.
He was a striker.
Grahey. His sperm has earned us loads, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what I was going for, but went for the wrong one because he's not.
Andy Gray.
Anyway,
so then we've got a striker who
has earned us.
A striker
and he's going to earn us more money in the future. Should bottle it.
who Neil Warnock brought in.
I reckon they probably have. Like, you know, that is it Svalbard, that Norwegian territory that's owned right up in the Arctic Circle. They've got it's like a seed.
Oh, yeah.
Like a seed repository underground, and it's kept there because it's so cold. It's like the permafrost looks after all the seeds. That's where Andy Gray's seed is.
Could sell it in the club shop.
I mean, no.
You're into strange territory there.
It's one of the most precious seeds I think we've had play for us, though.
True enough.
I will say that.
So you're missing a striker and a defender here.
Striker and a defender.
A striker who was barely with us, really. Neil Warnock brought him in.
I can sort of see him, but
You're going to cut these silences, right?
on the audio version, video version will just be three blokes sat in a room in silence.
It's looking there.
One strikers who didn't.
Warnock brought him in for Leeds.
Yes, I think he was unattached, so he was able to sign him.
Oh, is it ex-Scum?
Yes.
Oh,
Although whether or not he actually played for him, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in their youth team. I think he might have come to us from Leicester.
Webber.
Danny Webber.
Danny Webber. Well done, everybody.
And then you're still missing a defender who was part of the League One promotion team.
Webber. So we've
Our
League One promotion team.
Kenny Tongy, Grayy, Webbery.
No, who played in that? So Andy Hughes, Jason Crowe, Kisnorbo. It's none of them. Naylor, none of them. O'Brien.
Defender, did you say?
Defender. Right back or centre back.
Has Peltz ever played for them?
Do you know what?
He wasn't.
He wasn't there then. No, he was young.
League One promotion. Nah, you have to give it to us.
Lee Bromby.
Oh, Lee Bromby, of course it was. Now doing God's work at Huddersfield.
Dog's work.
Sorry, yes. Next question.
Can we remember when I got Fraser Richardson? That was good. That was a good moment.
That was the high point for this podcast.
Here's a number for you. You just need to pluck out. How many goals did Michael Ricketts score that season?
3.
I'll give you a clue. It's less than 20.
3.
I think it's
1.
It was 1.
Yeah.
He scored 1 against Swindon in the
None
League
of those
Cup.
guys got, like Joe Chim got 1.
Yeah, none of them got many. It wasn't until we signed Healy, really, that we had anyone who could score. I think he finished top scorer that season. But
Is this the season that we had all the strikers?
That was kind of the year after. We got Creswell and Hulse arriving late in this season. Then I think we signed Blake as well, just because we can't get enough
forwards,
decent Championship strikers. And then that's when Healy ends up on the wing, because why not?
Mix it up a bit.
Exactly. I think we kind of touched on most of these other ones already. Oh, actually,
might have a chance of getting them then.
A party.
There's one, actually. 3 of that squad would go on to be promoted with Watford the year after, beating us in the playoffs.
Springy?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I've had this question before. Someone on the bench, like a goalkeeper on the bench.
No. There was one of them didn't play in the playoff final, actually, because he was injured, but was a part of that team.
So our team or the Sheffield United team?
The Watford team that beat us in the playoff final.
Yeah, so it was all ex-Leeds players?
Yeah, three of our squad from that season ended up at Watford the year after and going up at our expense.
From this... Oh, wow. Is it Serge Branco?
It's not Serge Branco. That was a name I did see. I'd entirely forgotten. He was someone we signed and then was injured, then released.
I think this is right. There's a player, maybe he's not playing anymore. Maybe he's playing. There's a player on the Watford who's still playing as well.
There's Ben Foster. There's 2. There's Ben Foster and Ashley Young as well.
That's the one.
That makes me feel sad.
That's not the question.
It's not the question, but it's good to know. Is it a striker and a centre-back in addition to Springy?
Clark Carlisle?
Clark Carlisle is one of them.
Because we were playing Sean Gregan there because he was better.
Michael Ricketts?
No.
It's definitely not Joe Chim.
A striker who's had his problems. Well, has actually given people problems, in fairness. Most of them have been self-inflicted. His issues. There's a big clue.
I don't understand the clue.
I started off trying to make it sound sympathetic, like he's had he's had a troubled life, but I think a lot of his troubles have been self-inflicted. But he's certainly, been in a lot of bother with the law.
Did he fight the law and the law won?
I believe so.
Right.
I was going to say something. I think I just wonder if that's libelous.
Always best to leave that stuff out.
Get back on the Christmas party stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it kind of had a good little run
Just tell us the
at
answer.
Watford? It's Marlon King.
Oh, of
That's
course.
who I was thinking
Marlon
of. But
King.
is that? I think it was it? It was. Is it official, proven officially all that
He's
stuff?
served 3 jail sentences,
fine, yeah,
as Wikipedia tells me. So, he's done some bad shit.
Yeah. We know you'd be terrible in prison. What about you, Simon?
Prison?
Do you think you'd be a target?
Yeah,
Because you got a better profile.
I don't think I do that well.
No.
I think I'd be pretty poor.
What would you be there for? What would you be there for?
What would be my good skill though? I'm quite good at linking. Like I was saying the other day, one of my favourite things is like going, oh, I know this person that can help with that, and I'll introduce them and all that. So maybe I could be like a fixer.
Right.
I think the stuff people might ask you for outside of prison would be different from the things inside of prison.
I could put you in touch with an A&R man. Would that help?
Everyone wants to be famous nowadays.
No, I want you to smuggle cigarettes inside your anus. Anyway.
What am I in there for?
Yeah.
Speeding.
Right. Is that the lightest criminal offence you can find?
Being on my phone too much when I'm, I don't know, when I'm driving. Can you get prison for that?
Probably not, but you could have just avoided the question. No. Quite frankly. Have you got any more good questions for us, Michael?
I think we've covered them all off, to be honest.
Yeah.
All in the general chat. So that's all we remember of that.
We finished
magnificent season.
Yeah, we finished 14th.
Comfortable.
We did a win. We did one good win, didn't we? Did Brian Dean get a hat trick?
He got 4.
4. There you go.
Against QPR.
Unheard of.
We've remembered a lot of bad moments. So he got 4 goals, but then did he get? Was that all his goals?
I think he got another 2. I think it must have been another 2 or 3.
I see 1 league goal in the win at Sunderland on Boxing Day. He scored there. But I think that's his only goal for the rest of the season.
Brian Dean was like 37 or something that season. He had no right to be playing in the Championship still.
Oh, I think I might have been profoundly drunk for that 6-1 win against QPR.
See, I wasn't there for that for some reason. Which is a shame because it's probably like the best bit of that season. And I think I've managed to not actually see it.
It was either that or it might have been the Hulse game. When was Hulse? Was that? Did we sign Hulse this season?
Yes, I think we signed him in the March or something.
Let's have a look. Transfers in Wikipedia. So Hulse came in. Not then.
Or was it the year after?
It came in as a loan, didn't he? Of course he did.
Of course he did, yeah. And then
he's in the loans inbox. That's why. Rob Hulse came in February, so early February. And
you can't fault the commitment to signing someone. Just always be signing someone.
Well, it was essentially Bates's gamble years with these because we signed a few players, spent a bit of money, lost in the playoff finally, just went, fuck this.
Although this is
everyone can go.
This is the last good bit of football we had across the season between early just the month of February. Burnley away we won, Reading at home we won. That
was when Hull scored, wasn't it, Reading? Is that right?
We lost 3-0 away at Wigan, which I had a ticket for but didn't go to because I think I was up all night drinking and I realised how ill I felt in the morning. I was like, I can't go. So I just sold my ticket. I was too ill to travel. But we had like 7,000 fans there that day. But I remember thinking later that day, I'm glad I didn't go to that one. But then we beat West Ham at home, 2-1. But Hull scored.
Was that Sean Derry beans on toast?
It was. Well, Derry scored in that game, and so did Rob Hulse. But I think the season high was that 34,000 there at that point. But yeah, Hull scored twice in that game against Reading. I might have been profoundly drunk for the Reading game. I can't quite remember. I know I was definitely drunk for a good home victory because as a rule, I don't drink going to football. But somebody took us in the hospitality in the West Stand and properly went for it.
Which is a rule I did drink at this point.
Right.
Because it was before we'd started doing the mag or anything. So not bad to do, was there?
Just, take the edge off.
It might have been at this stage I was taking my own cans to the Peacock Beer Garden. Just standing and drinking them. It was a far less professional operation than it is these days.
Yeah, a 14th place finish this season. Played 46, won 14, drew 18, lost 14. It's about as Leeds United classically championship as it could get. It's not quite 15th position, but it's as near as damn it.
And when you do look at that squad and the number of players that came in and out, to have not just gone straight down again. Probably on reflection, all right. I think we still had a bit of Premier League swagger about us, probably as a fan base. Well, we're not going to be here long. This is a stupid league. But then, when you've got Michael Ricketts, 37-year-old Brian Dean, Julian Joachim playing for you up front at various points, you think, just being in the division is fine.
We finished 10 points clear of relegation and 13 points outside the playoffs. Like after the amount of churn we'd had the year before, I think it probably felt like a decent outcome in the end. But that only one win in 10, I think, probably bit of a deflating end to the season. But what I was going to say earlier, the reason why I wanted to get the dates of Bates' arrival was to blame our poor end of season form on his arrival.
I mean, you can do. I'm happy to blame him for most things.
Mm.
But I actually think it's surprising the year after that playoff final. It's actually, even with some additions, right? Still quite a bad team, isn't it? You wouldn't, I don't know, the equivalent team now, like us, I guess, in the playoffs last year, you would say we were a lot better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you get away with people of the girth of Butler and Gregan anymore in the Championship.
It's definitely become more professionalised, I think, in terms of physical output.
And
I'm trying to be kind.
No, I don't think you need to be, because I think Paul Butler was out quite a bit in Leeds at that sort of time. So he wasn't necessarily taking great care of himself.
But yeah, looking ahead to the season, after the highest home attendance, just shy of 28,000 against Sheffield Wednesday, even though we were doing better in the league. But those prices, people just voted with their feet in the end, I think. And there was probably a post-Premier League hangover. But yeah, the average attendance for that year was 22,355.
But you finished the season playing Glastonbury, so that's all right.
Yeah. So we were having a nice time playing Glastonbury. And
fine.
by Christmas,
With your silly band?
Christmas selling absolutely hundreds of thousands of CDs. It was a very good time, that.
CDs, whatever happened to them, eh?
We could flash back to that. I would enjoy that. I could enjoy that more.
Yeah, see, I've still got a fairly sizable CD collection in CD wallets at home.
It's going to come back. Tapes are back, right?
And nothing to play them on. Yeah, tapes are back.
Have you got any original mini discs?
I have. Well, because
they are worth lots of money now.
Well, not any mini disc releases, no. But the club that I used to DJ in had mini disc players, weirdly, and I think it was sort of a carryover from radio, because radio tended to use them a lot because they were very, very stable and reliable with mini discs. And we had a whole collection on there, and it also meant that some other jocks could come in from outside and start playing their own music off CD or whatever. And it was probably just before hard drives kind of took over. Sorry, but so I've got a. It's like a camera case, like a small briefcase kind of thing in my loft, full of mini discs with songs on them that I can never play on anything.
When we did the charity walk a couple of years ago, the first one we did from Gary Speed's hometown back to Leeds, when we were in Oldham, there was a DJ on and he had mini discs.
Nice. What was the sort of the pub? It was the Rifleman, was it?
The Rifle Range in Oldham, and he had cases of mini discs and then like a ledger where you had to look up which mini disc. That's
exactly what we had. We had a book next to it. Yeah, so it was like disc so and so track 17.
Great to see that. But
yeah. There was also stabbing near that pub when we were there.
There was a stabbing,
which is possibly tells you a little bit about the area.
But it wasn't mini disc related.
No, not as far as we know.
So don't blame that.
Not as far as we know. Simon, do you want to give another plug for the gig just one more time, and we'll sign off. And
let's do that. Yeah. So 31st of May next year, we're all going to be having a good time in Temple Newson Park. If you haven't got your ticket yet, why not? They're on sale. You should have one. Stop listening to this.
Where can you get them?
All the normal places like Ticketmaster and Gigs and
those
Tours.
Guys, they're really good, aren't they?
There's no dynamic pricing.
Oh, good boy.
It's actually a really, really especially good price.
It is a very reasonable price, even as you know, a very tight man. I think for the number of bands on, I approve of the price.
Good. Sell your Oasis tickets and take all of your friends to our gig. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I mean, we'll come, but only on the basis that we get some sort of guest list.
Obviously.
We're not paying that. Fine. You can find all the details. You can find all details at kaiserchiefs.com, presumably. Yes. Brilliant stuff. Thanks for coming on, and maybe we'll do it again around the gig. Promotion.
Yes.
Party pod. We could even do it. We could even do a podcast from when you let us in. We could go on there on that basis.
Fine.
You plug in media passes.
I think we just did. Did
they come with a free bar?
Sold. We'll see you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.